I certainly look forward to the science that's produced on this. I just caution you and our friends at CDC that if we kill technology and innovation, which is in essence what some are attempting to do with electronic cigarettes right at the beginning, just stop it, no more, shouldn't be sold, then innovation is not going to play a role in reducing the amount of Americans that smoke. It's just not. And I think it's safe to say that when I look at diabetes today, I look at other things that we would consider a public health epidemic. Innovation is going to give us the ability to do it. I don't think it's going to be by going out and limiting whether they can go to McDonald's and buy a double cheeseburger. And the CDC is not proposing that. It's going to be innovation. It's going to be driving technology. It's going to be coming out with products that allow us to turn around the problem they've got. I think that's what we're talking about here, and I look forward to the work you're doing. Thank you. Thanks.
Hello. I was bobbing my head to the music. Anyway, howdy. I see that there's slim pickings in the chat right now, but I see Tom is here and Troop is here. Other people will filter in or not. We're still gonna do our thing. And if people show up, they show up. They will enjoy, laugh, and have some fun with what we're talking about. But anyway, yeah, that piece that we just opened the show, that was Senator Burr, from the Senate Help Committee in 2015, somewhere in that ballpark. And he was talking about the death of innovation, the death of killing something that doesn't need to be killed, because it's beneficial. It will help people. Today is Friday the 13th. I think you guys know that today is an unlucky day. And I think tomorrow is it tomorrow or Sunday is a deadline for PMTAs, for synthetic nicotine products. I believe it's either today, tomorrow. I can't remember. It's probably Monday because of the weekend or something. I don't know, but I'm sure we'll probably figure out that and other things. But I see Yolanda just showed up and Steve Totem just showed up. Kiora Yolanda, or Chugga. Troop says that he is multitasking and watching Sicario. Let me tell you about that film Sicario. You should hit pause for a minute and we will have a little campfire moment, because in my previous life, I've spoken about it before. I used to work for the United Nations. I did some forensic anthropology work for the United Nations. And there is something in my life that occurred in Juarez, Mexico. There's a scene in that movie that takes place in Juarez, Mexico. And there is a harrowing vehicular thing going on. They're driving into Juarez, Mexico, and there's a scene where they're driving, and the guy looks out the window, and there are bodies hanging off of a highway overpass. I can say that I saw that, and I was like, how did they get into my head to film that? Because I have seen that exact thing in that exact location, at least a highway overpass in Juarez, Mexico. In the mid 90s, that was a horrible reality. I don't know that it's much better now, but that's on the other side of Texas for me, where I'm at right now. So, but the last time I was in Mexico on the border a few years ago, there were federales up and down the street with full body armor and face masks. and half tracks driving up and down the street, and they had heavy machine gun placements with sandbags and everything at the intersections. And that's just here in South Texas where I live now. Well, it's an hour and 15 minutes south of me, but yeah. Anyway, that scene in that movie, that is a wonder. I mean, I love that movie. It's an awesome fucking movie. Josh Brolin is awesome in that movie. The lady that's married to Krasinski, I can't remember her name, and she's really hot. She's awesome in that movie, and even the Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro is actually one of the reasons to watch that movie. But anyway, Kevin is here. We don't want to wait, keep him back there too long. He's getting older by the second. But hi, folks. Yeah, and don't, if you haven't watched that movie, I didn't ruin it for you. That's not it's not in it, the whole plot of the movie. But anyway, hey, let's just get Kevin in.
I'm not happy until you're completely unhappy.
I'm always happy, Kevin. Now, I do hope that I do hope that Skip maybe has a reason not to be here tonight, because there's going to be stuff that pisses her off.
Is there like a cranky old broad convention out there?
Well, there will be remember last week we had the discussion about native advertisement.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So in the last couple days, there has been a new splurge, the truth has jizzed all over the truth, and
truth manipulative. Yes.
Shot their wad, quite a large wad of cash, pushing more. That part of that video package that we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
I've in the last 4 days, just the last 4 days, I found over half a dozen more bullshit. The same video package, and this is even. I mean, when I show it to you, because we're gonna have to suffer through some of it.
I saw the list. I did not look at them as per normal.
Well, you actually put one or two of them in the list, and if there's something that you wanted to talk about that's not on the list, we can still talk about it.
Well, thank you.
We don't have a deadline. It's just I just went through. I went through because last week you didn't send shit.
I know this is going to be hard for you and everybody else to believe, but you're making it easier to work with you. It's a shock. Let me get some nicotine. Make sure
I'm not watching for Benicio del Toro. You should actually. Well, whatever her name is, I can't remember her name. John Krasinski's wife. And she's hot. She's British. I can't remember her name. She's in a bunch of movies I like too, which really sucks that I just can't. It's the whole dementia thing. It's the early onset dementia that I can't remember that chick's name. It'll come to me at the most inopportune time, like halfway through the show. I'll be like, "Oh, that's her name," and everybody will be like, "What's going on with that guy?"
Random stupidity is way more entertaining.
Well, random. So anyway, I do have to. I got a private message on the podcast platform.
Oh,
because somebody was mad that I hadn't put up like the last 7 shows.
Oh, it's not a Karen complaint. Oh, good.
I had to apologize, and I uploaded all of the last 7 shows today.
I saw the Twitter. You said stuff.
I feel bad because there's we do have a lot of people that were listening, but nobody reminds me. And I'm old and I forget shit. I download it and it just sits in my download folder.
It's caused dementia.
My hat's not tight. See, it's fairly. But you see this? The Black Crows. 1972.
Ooh.
They released an album called 1972. So
Really?
I had to get it and the T-shirt because I was born in 1972.
Damn, you're old.
I know, right?
Wow.
But hey, we've talked about Cameron English on the show a couple times. He's a writer for the American Council on Science and Health.
Yep.
And he seems fairly well. He vapes.
Yep.
Like he said in one of his things, I vape.
Beneficial bias. That's correct.
So he has written quite a few things though that with actual like sources and information and stuff, so that nobody, well, no, they will still say that he's biased or he's probably in. And I've been told that even though this organization takes donations, that they did get funding from Smoke Free World or somebody. So there will be people that bitch and moan about that. But there's a new piece, and it says anti-vaping bias undermines e-cigarette research ? New study raises questions. So anyway, it says this is actually I seem to remember this one, but anyway, a recent study suggests that vaping is much less harmful than smoking. The authors and the journal that published the paper tried to minimize this result. Do they have anti-vaping bias? So some scientists they designed an experiment. They had a hypothesis. They designed an experiment, and then they did an experiment, and the results were that vaping is less harmful than smoking. And that's not the result they wanted.
No. Well,
so the the thing is like, again, it's like that confirmation bias video where the flat earther keeps proving that the earth is not flat, and he keeps trying to change the experiment so that it will prove that the earth is flat.
Yep.
This is the same thing. So inexperienced journalists commonly make a mistake known as burying the lead. So the lead is like the who, what, when, where, and why. It's the first paragraph of a news article. Or hiding the most crucial aspects of a story underneath lots of distracting and less significant information. Scientists often make an analogous mistake by emphasizing less important results from their research while minimizing others that are more relevant, especially because they're related to public health. Case in point, a study published last week in the American Heart Association's AHA. Have you ever noticed that the Brits say H?
Yes.
Instead of a H. They H. Okay. The American HA journal Circulation reported an association between dual use of e-cigarettes and combustible tobacco and increased cardiovascular disease risk over a 6-year period. The paper's results, as we'll see, clearly support vaping as a low-risk alternative to smoking, but the AHA did its best to downplay the results. Yes, that's the one that we showed, that the same headline was repeated over and over again.
Yep.
And it was that if you smoke and you vape at the same time, it's not beneficial.
Which is bullshit, but that's okay.
Well, again, we can argue that, it's the dose that makes the poison or whatever. But, obviously, even the FDA will say if you substitute all of your combustible cigarettes for one of these products, it would be a net benefit for public health. So, and I'll meet them halfway and say, well, they don't get all of the benefits of completely switching if they continue to smoke cigarettes, if they're dual users. As somebody that we talk about, substance use, we talk about addiction, those things. For us, psychologically, the cigarettes that the cigarettes that we don't smoke are the most important, right? That's what we always, it's the ones you don't smoke.
We were told. That's what I was told all my life.
So psychologically, cutting back is a first step into quitting. So there is benefit to it. Now, physiologically, they can argue, and I'm sure I can pull out science, they can pull out science, but we can agree it's the ones you don't smoke that are the most important. I think it's fair to say that. Psychologically, it's a step towards quitting.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go on, because we pointed this out last week. The headline and the information that they relayed at the top of the article is that if you smoke and you vape is bad.
Yep. And I'll highlight for you.
And they tried to fuck around with the language to make it less clear. And then later on, down towards the bottom, they did list that there were benefits to people completely switching.
Right. They'll tell you the highlight of the inexperienced journalists commonly make a mistake. Well, I don't think that's necessarily true, but I'm going to read Glance's quote directly. That's the question I've applied to my research. This is the Glancian version.
Yes.
The question I've applied to my research relating to tobacco, if it comes out the way I think, will it make a difference towards achieving the goal? If the answer is yes, we do it. If the answer is I don't know, then we don't bother. And that's the criteria. That's not full quote, but that's verbatim.
So yeah, and I don't know is the same thing as a negative,
right,
for them.
Yeah.
So it's not a let's do some more research. No, it's just a negative. Yeah. So the researchers surveyed 24,027 participants from the PATH, that's the Population Assessment of Tobacco and Health Study, who self-reported their smoking, vaping, or dual-use habits annually between 2013 and 2019. Anyone who smoked more than 100 cigarettes in their lifetime, that's only, that's less than 100 packs, right? 100 cigarettes that's 5 packs. 5 packs of cigarettes in your whole life. Anybody who smoked more than 100 cigarettes in their lifetime and reported current smoking was classified as a smoker. So if someone reported any e-cigarette use, they were categorized as a vapor. Participants were classified by non-use, no current e-cigarette use or smoking, exclusive e-cigarette use, exclusive smoking, or dual use. These classifications were updated annually. The researchers defined incident CVD as any self-reported diagnosis of myocardial infarction or bypass surgery, heart failure, or other heart condition or stroke starting at wave 2. Now the path is done multi-year. Each year is a different wave. So anyway, so they didn't starting at wave 2 and continuing through wave 5. And they measured MI, HF, and stroke separately. So, I love this because they're relying on self-reporting.
Yep.
So,
I thought the anecdotes weren't proper, but
in a survey, it's it is a survey, but you're not gonna, a CHF or cardiac heart failure, chronic congestive heart failure, excuse me. Usually you have it before like it gets diagnosed. Like it takes a while for the outward symptoms to actually manifest for you to actually go and get checked out. So that one is kind of iffy. Or other heart conditions. So these are self-reporting people. Oh, I had a heart attack, or I had a bypass, or I have CHF, or some other heart condition, and then obviously a stroke. You don't even want to know how many strokes happen and people don't go.
Yeah. Don't know, don't go. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if it's like a petite one, a small one. What they call a TIA. Sometimes they manifest as a headache.
Right.
And that's it. And, it self-resolves.
And eventually when you go to the doctor, then they go,
it's usually after. So the TIAs are usually like little pre-earthquake tremors, the little warning tremors.
Mm-hmm.
I have a patient that I'm seeing right now that had a a stress-related stroke. She has a very high-pressure job, and she's resolving quite well. And she said, well, when can I go back to my job? And I'm like, never. And she said, what do you mean? I said, the doctor has identified your stroke as a stress-related stroke. Your job is a very high-pressure job, and you survived this one.
Right.
If you have another one, it will be worse than this one. And I said, the next one, you may not be able to recover from. I said, find a different, find a different. You can do the same job in a less stressful environment. Check that out.
Yeah.
She said, you sound just like my doctor. He said the same thing. I was like, then I'm the second opinion.
And I have references.
Yeah, I got certificates and things that say that I'm a neuro-certified therapist. So yes. So anyway, researchers defined incident CVD as any. Oh, I read that. Blah blah blah. They also What they should have led with was setting aside the broad exposure definitions utilized in this study, which I've criticized previously. The results painted vaping in a rather favorable light. After adjusting for covariance, participants exclusively using e-cigarettes had risk of developing. After adjusting for covariance, participants exclusively using e-cigarettes had risk of developing any heart condition that did not differ from non-users. That was a clumsy sentence. Yeah. And higher, albeit non-significant risk of an MI, HF, or stroke outcome. So what they're saying is statistically, with adjusting for the different covariates, which are situations which help or hurt the result, that e-cigarettes for myocardial infarction, HF, and stroke were comparable to those of non-smokers or non-vapers. Compared with smoking, e-cigarette use was associated with 30 to 40% lower cardiovascular disease risk, although this association was only significant for any CVD outcome. Smokers self-reported 569 cardiovascular events compared to just 41 in e-cigarette users, limiting the results to heart attack, heart failure, and stroke. Smokers experienced 242 events, but vapors reported only 15 of these same events. And that's a huge, he says, tremendous risk reduction. So the obvious conclusion to draw from these results is that vaping is associated with far less CVD, that's cardiovascular disease, than smoking. And then there's a chart. So I'm not going to read the whole fucking chart. So depending on the specific condition under observation, it appears that vaping poses very little risk whatsoever. But it gets better. The authors went on to note that we did not find a significant difference in the cardiovascular risk of exclusive e-cigarette use compared with non-use of cigarettes or e-cigarettes, although analyses were limited by a small number of CVD events in the e-cigarette users. So he's basically saying, well, there's so few, 15 compared to 242. So the smokers that were in that group had, 242 heart attacks, heart failures, or strokes, and the vapors only had 15. So it seems pretty cut and dry to me, Kevin.
So that it isn't really a timeline of 10 years like Dr. Gardner was saying, but it's clear that your risk is less every single day. Now I'm 54 and a half, and I didn't know if I'd make it to 40. I really didn't.
Why do you gotta lie so badly and say that you're 54?
I'm 84, but okay. I do good for 84. So how much different has my life become health-wise for almost now 9 years next week? 9 years out of smoking, and I breathe better, and I feel better, and I can exercise better, and I can do all kinds of things that I didn't want to do when I smoked. Juggas out there fishing like crazy. Cigar babes walking like crazy. I got Jerry Izzo as a marathon man.
I wouldn't say that Cigar Babes. The last time I saw her, she was driving a power scooter.
I thought she was. Well, she's got their miles on her thing. Jerry Izzo is a marathon man. There's Claw. I can't think of his name in the UK or Spain somewhere. He's climbing mountains. These people didn't do that when they were smoking. So yeah. I have a better lung capacity, so I can yell more at my boys. I learned that.
You're just saying that. You don't yell at those angels.
No, not at all.
So yeah, I invite you to go to the American Council on Science and Health and follow and read Cameron English's articles.
All of them.
Oh, did you see that Andrew? Did you see that Andrew came in the room, Kevin?
Well, I got it in the background. I forgot.
Do you remember last week when I went to vapeband.com to promote our products and there were no products listed?
No. They must have sold out. I hope they sold out.
I don't know. I think he's mad at us. I think he just deleted them.
Hey, he changed his picture though. I can see his picture. Mm-hmm.
It's so small I can't see it. That's what she said.
Oh, shut it down. No.
See, look right there. No products. There's none.
It says coming soon.
There's nothing here. I can't promote. I could promote Andrew K. He's got other tank bands. Oh no, those are out too. Oh,
look at the main page on the site.
You can buy 100 pieces for $50.
He said, look at the main page on the site.
The main page on the site.
All products, I'm assuming, are home.
If I go to you talking about the shop, go to the home page. There's a sale for CBD little tanky things.
I like he's doing that. I just
Yeah, there's a grab bag. You can get a random selection of different vape bands to protect all of your tanks.
Mm-hmm. And we did warn everybody that these were limited edition.
They are
limited edition.
They are
moving sign. He said,
and they glow in the dark, man. Yes, there's a moving sign. They are beginning Monday, May 2nd. We will be shipping online orders on Mondays only. Orders placed throughout the week, Monday through Friday, will ship the following Monday until the move is complete. So apparently, Andrew's wife kicked him out of the house.
I hope not.
I do too. I was just kind of joking, It does sound like a possibility. But what else was that? Oh, I was gonna I'll pimp the t-shirts real quick. Let me pimp the t-shirts real quick. I did sell a another of the Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with God t-shirts. I did indeed. But yes, let me bam, there is the Teespring store. I'll slap that in there. So we got all of the wonderful Son of Liberty Radio designed t-shirts and my nicotine nerds and my nicotine enhanced and the Fight the Mind Control Menace and the newest design, Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with God.
That's right.
Those are all priced at almost cost. So there's no coupon codes. I know how you guys love coupon codes, but there's no coupon codes. But Team Free Shit is live and well, Kevin.
Is it still? I think I disassociated myself from those groups.
So again,
Nothing wrong with it, but whatever.
We covered on the show last week some nonsense, some madness, some crazy BS.
Fuckwittery. That's what it is. But yeah.
Perpetrated on the people of our country by the Truth Initiative, where they were spending lots of money to buy time in local news broadcasts or morning shows to spread lies and propaganda. So and we demonstrated, I showed you the same story repeated in 16 different local news outlets on the internets, either websites of TV channels, websites of local newspapers, or just local news websites. There were 16 of those. And there was a couple videos that we found that was the same video package. Well, in the last 4 days, the fuckwittery is still abounding. So this is a news piece that's been reported in the last 4 days.
Health crises among youth, the mental health.
Now, I want you to remember this. I'm gonna rewind it. So the first line, there are 2 health crises.
There are 2 health crises among youth, the mental health epidemic, very big issue, and a vaping epidemic. A Truth Initiative survey found that 93% of young e-cigarette users reported vaping nicotine negatively affected their lives. They said,
okay, so did you check that one out, Kevin? Did you pick that up?
That tells me that 93% of all teens that use nicotine are having problems, but it's 93% of the global population is what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Am I catching his inference or reference?
Well, yeah, they are implying, they're making implications, and
right
this is skullduggery and nonsensory.
Right
stuff.
There. I'm really proud of that.
So now I'm gonna go over here and share screen now.
Mm-hmm.
I got to stop sharing screen
because it doesn't say 93% of all 9 kids.
Share screen again. I got to make sure to hit the click. So now this is a different news channel, a different local news channel. And let me make sure that I get over here and I don't cheat you out of the first 5 seconds of this piece.
I hate it when you do that.
All right.
Good morning. I'm Amy Lynn. A Truth Initiative survey found that 93% of young e-cigarette users reported vaping nicotine negatively affects their lives because.
Did you see
there.
that? That's verbatim.
Look at her eyes.
Like verbatim.
Well, of course. That's how narratives work, Patrick.
Because it makes them feel more stressed, depressed, or anxious. And joining us to talk more in detail about this is Amy Taylor and Gianna Darville. Thank you both so much for coming on this morning.
Oh.
Thanks for having us.
So again, I this is the same video package. There's the same cubby holes, the same outfits. This is the same video package. So what they do is they have somebody off camera asking scripted questions.
Yeah.
The 2 guests respond to those scripted questions.
The 2 plans.
And then they send out a video package with the scripted questions on paper. Yeah. So then the local news person can ask those questions on camera, and these people will respond, and it makes you think that they've just called in.
It's giving the impression.
This is an actual interview.
It's giving the impression.
So
we should try that one time.
So you scroll down here, you see right here, paid for by Truth Initiative.
Well, geez, Patrick, I wonder why they would have to pay for it if it was absolutely the truth. Wouldn't science overrule anything that you'd have to pay for in any media outlet at all? Why would there have to be advertising from a company that pretends it's a nonprofit? I don't understand. I'm confused.
But wait.
Shut up, Kevin.
But wait. Let me go over here again. I gotta go to share. I gotta share another video file.
$60 million worth of marketing. It's marketing.
Good morning. I'm Amy Lynn.
That's
a
all.
Truth Initiative survey found that 90.
That's the same lying ass bitch right there. Give me a second here. I gotta.
She's got like crazy eyes. Look at her.
She does have crazy eyes, but
she's
she's like a pave mom. Why are you trying to
send all your complaints to me?
Okay, so let me rub this one.
I need a good laugh.
Rub it before I put it on here. Who's here? Oh, Apathy Miller's here. Yeah. So now we go back over here. We click on this. Now, do you see this where it says in green? It says sponsored.
Sponsored. Look at that. Nobody cares about that part though, Patrick. We're the only ones that fucking know any better.
So now
this is like
Welcome back to We Are Austin. 2 health crises among youth, a mental health crisis and a vape.
2 health crises.
They're separate, but they're equal.
Vaping epidemic pose increasing threats to a generation of young people. A Truth Initiative survey found that 93% of young e-cigarette users reported that vaping nicotine negatively affected their lives.
Verbatim.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't have the crazy eyes. She's just got the crazy face.
Yeah.
Because it made them feel more stressed, depressed, or anxious. Amy Taylor, Chief of Community Engagement for
Rihanna. I do appreciate her concern.
So now, not only that, but you see that the director that was on the canned footage is like, now nod your head like you're hearing them and you're so let's here look.
More stressed, depressed, or anxious. Amy Taylor, Chief of Community Engagement for
see the head nods from these two over here to make it seem like they're actually there.
That's what I do.
Truth Initiative, and Gianna Darville, Truth Initiative Youth Board Liaison, are joining us this morning with more info. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Amy, can you tell us a bit more about the ongoing youth nicotine vaping epidemic and its impacts on young people's mental health that y'all see?
Thank you so much for this opportunity to get our message out.
Cut and paste. I love that.
All right. So, let me unshare this for a second. Let's go. I really feel like this is important that y'all see this. Now, this next one I purposefully did not download it from YouTube so that you could actually see the listing on YouTube. I'm actually here. Let's pause. All right. So let's go back to 0. I'm going to make this full screen.
No.
I'm going to make this full screen. Now,
this guy looks like he's no bullshit. He's gonna.
You see, this one says hashtag paid for content.
Paid for by
and this is from Las Vegas, the KTNV Channel 13, Las Vegas.
These ladies are busy, huh?
There are 2 health crises among youth, the mental health epidemic, very big issue, and a vaping epidemic. A Truth Initiative survey.
It's got great cadence, though, doesn't it? It's got a really good beat. It's rhythmic.
93% of young e-cigarette users reported vaping nicotine negatively affected.
Oh, look, there's a teleprompter.
Made them feel more stressed, more depressed, or more anxious. Joining us now to discuss is Amy.
There's the nods.
The engagement for the Truth Initiative, and Gianna Darville. She is a Truth Initiative
Good morning
Board Liaison. It's great to have both of you. How are you?
Liana. How can
Great. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. It is
Glad to be here.
great to have both of you. This is a very important subject. Amy, let's
I
talk
thought they were
about
glad to be there.
youth nicotine vaping epidemic. It seemed like we were making so much progress cutting the cigarettes out, and all of a sudden these vapes came and ruined everything, including mental health.
That's exactly right. We are on a collision course right now with.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
you know,
love
I just
scripted content. It's great.
and at least on the YouTube page, they put hashtag paid for content.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to lie. They just want to be manipulative.
Uh-huh. So then, okay, so the paid for content, because let's just keep rolling here. So this is Yahoo News, which is a fairly large outlet. Some people actually get their news. It's the same video. This is actually the same video, but it has made its way into Yahoo. Now, there again, paid for content.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that one. And I think I still have one or two more.
That way it looks generic. It looks organic. But they put it on there. It's like saying may, could, or might. It covers the bases.
Yeah.
That way we're not lying. We're just not telling the truth.
And again, that's this. These are it's the same outfits that they were wearing last week, because this started last week. We had 2 or 3 videos last week.
Oh yeah, this can go for miles. This can go.
So
for
now this one does not have.
Just
this
the
one
script
does not have the. Now down here they say all rights reserved. This mirror. I may not be able to republish this. I don't want to get I don't want to get stricken. I don't want to get stricken. But there again, there's the video clip. The same shirt, the same hair, the same nods, the same camera cut. It's all exactly the same.
It's neat how they can answer the same exact way every time. That's amazing.
Without even skipping a beat.
It's like they practiced.
So, yeah, I don't want to play the audio because I'll definitely get like a, I saw that DJ LSB this week got a channel or a channel strike on his YouTube channel. So I don't want
What?
Us.
I hope this is. Do you think this would be something we could get a strike for?
I don't care if we
using
get a strike for that. Then
Because yeah,
I don't want to get struck for something stupid though.
well,
That's funny.
I've been using this for 3 or 4 years
Now,
now.
Wasn't it the WHO that warned somebody that if they had made a parody logo or something?
There's something of it. Juka would be my only source to remember offhand. I don't remember who it made. Thank you, Leona.
I seem to remember that somebody
They're
got
inspiring tobacco-free lies. If you didn't see that, that's the other part of that.
Truth manipulative. They manipulate the truth.
Yeah.
Now, the vaping space, the vaping research space, is so big now that they're literally researching how their advertising either works or doesn't work, and trying to find better ways to manipulate people. Since you have the truth manipulative up there, better ways to brainwash people.
What?
So this new one, this is from Med Express or Medical Express. The headline is study reveals the most effective anti-vaping messages for teens. So they went through and they researched what worked best to keep the kiddies away from vaping. I see Victor. Now I will tell you that in my opinion, I'm not a scientist in this respect, but I would say in my opinion, the best way to keep kids off of cigarettes is to be a parent.
I will second that. And then access, compliance.
Yeah. Enforce the laws that you already have. How about that?
This is not anywhere near difficult.
So it says here, effective anti-vaping advertisements geared to teens have the greatest impact when they emphasize the adverse consequences and harms of vaping e-cigarettes, use negative imagery, and avoid memes, hashtags, and other teen-centric communication styles, according to a first-of-its-kind study by researchers at UNC Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center.
Patrick.
So what they're saying is make topic-specific advertisement that doesn't seem childish, that doesn't seem immature, because the ones that you're doing with the hashtags and the teen-focused communication styles are not working.
But Patrick,
But,
did you smoke pot ever?
well, I did inhale.
Good enough.
But I will. I've said it multiple times on the show. It really wasn't for me. Like
I
prefer alcohol. Like
see, that's fine. I kind of like smoking pot. Now, when I saw the egg frying on the pan, and the just say
this is
no,
your brain. This is your brain.
This was
drugs.
a challenge. This was a challenge to me. This was like, wow, I could get my brain to fry like that fucking egg. Give me more. Challenge accepted. That's all. Because I was 12.
Well, yeah. So the researchers also found that certain messaging content currently being used, especially imagery related to candy and flavor, increases the appeal of vaping and should be avoided when designing prevention messages.
No. They know.
So even the anti-vaping advertisements or articles or PSAs that show flavors actually are appealing. That makes vaping appealing.
You cannot tell me with a straight face that someone in those organizations, you can try. I'll pretend that I agree with you that you're having a straight face. Anybody in the room who can remember the subliminal messaging for movies, back when I was a kid in the olden days, they didn't want subliminal messaging. What do you think this is? That's exactly what this is.
Where's my mouse? Give me my mouse. I have something. I have something to play. I have. It's 10 seconds. Here we go.
I'm ready.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned by watching you.
Oh my God, I want some crab now.
I learned it by watching you.
You're trying to get me to crave crab. That's what you're doing. Grog's in the room. So if you don't think subliminal messaging works, what happened in 2016 and 17? Up went the advertising. They were advertising to children directly.
They were doing the best advertisement for vaping, period. That's what they did.
I miss that crazy girl. What's her name?
What? Ocasio-Cortez or whatever? Alexandra.
I don't see enough of that every day. I should see that every day.
Well, there is a video of her dancing with a very, very tight t-shirt on the roof of some, like when she was in college or something.
Oh God. Well,
so anyway,
Steve said more than 200 ads. I'm not sure what exactly that's referring to.
He's probably talking about the anti-vaping ads, but
I can't imagine how many more.
Let's go. Let's see. E-cigarettes and the findings appeared in the May 9th Journal of Tobacco Control, 2022. E-cigarettes and vaping have become a major public health concern, with nicotine addiction and other harmful outcomes looming large for youth, says UNC Lineberger's Seth M. Noor, PhD, the paper's corresponding author and professor in the UNC Huysman School of Journalism and Media, where he directs the Communicating for Health Impact Lab. The percentage of teens vaping increased from about 5% in 2011 to over 25% in 2019, Noor said. That is an alarming trend, making an understanding of effective vaping prevention messages especially urgent. So in 2019, 25% of all people under the age of 21.
There's 2 points to that.
According to them.
One, cigarettes. What did anti-tobacco do? They every day they advertise a pack of cigarettes every day on journalism, whatever. And then they did it here. Now, tell me there wasn't a board meeting where they said, what's the side note to this? What can we learn before we do this? What is going to happen with subliminal bullshit? They knew this. They've known it from other things.
Well, we've been pointing out for
fucking new
the last 5 years that
Frank
the
Wolf
best
and Vape.
advertisers for vaping were these assholes.
Yes.
We've said it many times. I can almost point back to any number of our shows where we've said that over the last 4 or 5 years.
I can point to 3 different blogs, including
that you've written. So yeah, the official blog of Smoke Free Radio.
Mark's in the
Vaping links out blog spot. Blah, blah, blah.
You're so goofy. They know who I am. Not that they care.
You never promote your blog.
I really don't. I really don't.
And I think you should.
I tried.
I paid for that shit. I think you should.
I tried.
Well, actually, our sponsors pay for that shit.
The people that I have had tobacco-free kids hit it twice. I saw it. It came from them. That was where the hit came from. I love that. Screenshots, but
kablam.
I know you're watching, you bastards.
There, I know for a fact, we don't have Grim Green numbers on our show. I mean, our podcasts, when I upload them, they get good listens. I mean, we have fairly nice numbers on the audio only. And if there's a way for them to incognito, like watch it on YouTube or Twitter now, I can guarantee you that they're picking up content from us.
Of course they are, and I don't care.
Me neither.
I can
as long as Steve and Victor and Mark and Yolanda and Tom and Raj and Leanna, are educated, informed, and entertained. That's all that matters to me.
I like the.
We've already, that's the important thing. So anyway, since the introduction of e-cigarettes, numerous state and local health departments have created their own anti-vaping message geared towards teens, as have national health organizations such as the US FDA and the CDC. The online study asked 1,501 teens to rate 7 randomly selected vaping prevention ads from a pool of more than 200 ads. Vaping prevention ads that clearly communicated the health harms of vaping or compared vaping to cigarette smoking were comparatively more effective. Neutral or less personally relevant content, such as referencing the environmental impact of vaping or the targeting of youth by the tobacco industry, was less impactful. So the depression stick nonsense BS bullshit lies is directly targeted to esoteric BS.
It's to make the parents happy. That's what it's designed to do.
Following the criteria of this study, it will be less effective.
But your mother and my mother, when they heard the words just say no. That's a simple, direct order. You'll do what you're told. Just say no.
Or you'll get beat.
And now it's mental health. That's a hot topic.
Well, considering I'm gonna take this down for a second, Kevin. So considering there's a huge increase in the diagnosing of, understanding of, awareness of things like ADHD, different spectrum disorders, like half the kids in school are now on meds of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Where when we were kids, we would just get a beating.
Yeah.
And that, that didn't help us any, but it quieted us down,
Sometimes rightly so.
So, yeah, I mean, all of these kids are already hyper aware, more so than their adult relatives, of the situation with mental health. These kids are way more versed in this stuff than kids were when we were kids, Kevin.
But if a child is going to express themselves and they're going to go hide in a room and they're going to read all day, nobody's going to say a word. Right. I like to read as a kid.
I'm surrounded by books right now.
And it was an escape on its own, right? But nobody says, boy, you should get out more.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, nowadays we would, if you have a kid that's that way, more than likely they're escaping because of overstimulation or some other situation in the home that they would prefer just to be apart from other people.
Left alone.
But like I'm saying, you cannot get you cannot what's the term where you try to pull the wool over these kids' eyes anymore, especially about stuff like this, because like I said before you interrupted me with a totally irrelevant comment, these kids know more about mental health than we did when we were kids.
Of course they do.
So now if you run a multi-billion-dollar campaign about depression and nicotine, and the kids that are using nicotine are feeling a sensation of improvement, and they're gonna call BS on your nonsense.
Yes, they are.
So these ads,
but they're dismissing
that are supposedly targeting the kids.
Yeah.
The kids know they're bullshit.
But imagine
now the parents, on the other hand, this is a more fear campaign.
Moral.
This is more, let's make these parents clutch their pearls in fear.
Moral situational ethics.
That's what this is, Kevin.
That's what this is. Pure fuck all that. Because let me ask you a question. If I tell you, and you're a child using nicotine, and you say, but it helps me, and then the authority says, well, son, see, your brain's not developed yet. You don't know what you're talking about. So you're gaslighting the very people that you're trying to manipulate to believe what's really not there or what really is there. And they're all manipulatively.
Yeah. But again, this is designed to scare the parents. This is not designed to scare the kids.
Correct.
The kids that are using know exactly what this does for them. It's like, Kevin, when you were a smoker and you were stressed out and you smoked a cigarette, what did it do?
Made me feel better.
When you're pissed off at your pot smoking kid,
and I didn't beat him,
who won't quit playing with the microwave during the show.
No, that's the other one.
And you take a vape, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel better.
You feel less stressed. See, I'm stressed because I keep hearing the microwave door slam and the beep, beep, beep. So here.
Dustin, you're stressing Patrick out.
Now I feel better. See how it works?
You're the microwave. He said this. He's my son. There he is. Poor Dustin. Dustin's gonna drive down there.
No, he had the perfect response.
Oh my god.
All right. Although we anticipated that vaping prevention ads with neutral or pleasant imagery would not be as effective, we are alarmed to find that the flavor-related messages actually heightened the attractiveness of vaping, said first author Marcella H. Boynton, PhD, associate professor in the UNC Division of General Medicine and Clinical Epidemiology, and statistician at the North Carolina Translational and Clinical Sciences Institute. So there are multiple kinds of, there's three kinds of lies, right, Kevin? Lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Who could argue with somebody with that many initials, though, right?
She has a lot of credentials.
She's got no couth, but she's got a lot of credentials.
A lot of credentials. In retrospect, it stands to reason that by reminding teens about pleasurable aspects of e-cigarettes, even within the context of a prevention ad, we run the risk of doing harm.
No.
Notably, we found that flavor-related prevention ad content was associated with vaping appeal among both users and non-users of e-cigarettes, which is a good reminder of how much candy and fruit flavors in e-cigarettes have driven the youth vaping epidemic. It's not the flavors, it's you pushing the flavors in your BS advertisement, you dumbass.
No, it's the nicotine. No, it's the flavors. No, it's the advertising. No, it's the bullshit. That's what it is. Which is it?
See? He even liked that joke. I heard him.
I know,
laughing back there.
he's easy.
In future studies, the researchers hope to investigate the effects of other types of anti-vaping ads on a wide range of audiences. They also are developing a series of messages and a companion website to test the ability of a text message-driven interaction to reduce youth vaping. In that regard,
personalize it.
Yeah, in that regard, Nor notes, we have been developing our own evidence-based messages based on the latest science about the harms of vaping. Our message approach has been greatly influenced by the insights generated by this study. So what they're saying is they're going to send out, I guess, they may be able to generate 5 tweets about the harms of vaping. Vaping is worse than breathing clean air.
And I was going to say 4 of them are going to lie, but all right.
You know,
exaggeration.
Vaping has nicotine.
Ooh.
Which actually is very beneficial. So yeah. I mean, if they're actually relying on actual evidence-based messaging,
I got an idea.
They're going to generate text messages based on evidence-based messaging about harms. They're going to have a hard time.
I got 5 tweets right off the top of my head. I'll start with the very first one. If you're under 21, it is illegal for you to obtain these products. 2, if you obtain these products, let us know how and where. And then just repeat those. Those are the 5 tweets right there. Just repeat them in a rotation.
If you vape, you will suddenly feel the desire to wear black flat-billed hats and grow a neck beard.
Oh, this is a family show. Never mind. Oh my God.
Yeah. So
if they spent more time worrying about the law and the enforcement of the law, we wouldn't have a show. And that makes me so sad.
Would that be so bad, Kevin, if we
oh my God.
If we were so successful to the point where we didn't have anything to talk about and make fun of, and we didn't have to do this show, and we could enjoy our Friday evenings, would that really be so bad?
I'd still have the ability to poke fun, believe me. They've got plenty of other things besides this, but I digress. This is it right here. Manipulative. And if we're wrong in any way, and anybody in the audience listening later on or now thinks we are, let us know. Let me know. Let us know. You're right, Leon. It wasn't a chirping fire thing. No, that doesn't happen here. Can't.
Fire.
Beavis and Butthead had the lighter incident. That was here in Moraine, Ohio. It was 10 miles from here. And then they banned anything to say fire on that show. Do you remember that?
Fire. No.
Yeah. Child died. It's not funny.
Oh, that's not funny.
But,
I didn't know that.
But even parenting back then gives me pause with all the things you see now with this stuff.
So you know that one of the justifications that FDA is using to ban menthol cigarettes, we talked about this last week, I think, or the week before.
Last week.
Was that they claim that it actually reduces, it soothes the smoking or vaping experience.
Yes.
And it makes you more addicted.
Well, what they want is they want you to suffer, and they don't want you to have a soothing sensation. They just want you to be suffering. That's what that is.
So Brad,
Dr. Rodu,
Brad has written a thing on Rodu, tobaccotruth.blogspot. See, now I get it. You want to be like Rodu. That's why you have a blogspot.com.
It's not blogspot. .blog. That's it.
Huh?
What?
What is your website?
Vapinglinks.blog. That's it.
There used to be a blog spot in there somewhere. I remember.
No.
I think you
No.
Look at Tobacco
Vlad
Truth. Hey, say I have a crab smoking, and he has a rat smoking. So smoking is bad for crabs and rats.
Yes, it is.
Do not allow your pet crab or your pet rat to smoke. Just saying. So where is the evidence for increased menthol addictiveness in the FDA proposed rule?
Mm-hmm.
So commenting on the FDA's proposed rule banning menthol cigarettes, a recognized tobacco policy expert argues that while a menthol cigarette ban was justified, the agency ought not prohibit menthol in smoke-free tobacco products. Cliff Douglas, C. Doug, we have interacted with C. Doug.
Oh, yes, we have.
Director, I did. He messaged me back and he said your show is not big enough for me.
He told me I was just like them.
And without actually using those words, but yeah, it was like, oh well, I prefer to spend my time with other media outlets.
Yeah.
Clifford Douglas, the director of the University of Michigan Tobacco Research Network, writes, menthol also interacts with nicotine in the brain to increase addictiveness. I was under the assumption that the addictive action of menthol was still questionable, so I explored the topic. That's Brad. Brad is the one that's interested in exploring the topic. The FDA's proposed rule includes this evidence passage. In addition to its flavor and sensory effects, menthol contributes to a greater risk of nicotine dependency by enhancing the addictive effects of nicotine in the brain by affecting mechanisms involved in nicotine addiction. And there's references 10 through 13. Clinical data show that menthol cigarette smokers have higher levels of brain nicotinic receptors compared to non-menthol smokers. Studies demonstrate that menthol, like nicotine, binds to nicotinic receptors in the brain, and menthol alone can increase the number of nicotinic receptors in the brain. Evidence demonstrates that the combined effects of menthol and nicotine in the brain are associated with behaviors indicative of greater addiction to nicotine compared to nicotine alone.
Thought it was nicotine.
So A Bastard wants to know where I have evidence that smoking is bad for crabs. Not species specific, no.
Fine.
I list the references and key findings below. In summary, 4 of the 7 studies were in mice or rats. 1 was a lab study using human tissue. 1 was a literature review. Only a single study involved human smokers who were PET scanned, with after receiving an injection of what? An injection? Where did they inject it?
Well,
the main finding in this study was menthol smokers having 9 to 28% higher densities that non-menthol smokers or blah, blah, blah. I don't think that is proof that menthol increases addiction. In summary, the FDA's evidence for menthol furthering addiction is primarily based on nicotine and menthol experiments on rats and mice, plus laboratory tests on tissue samples. The FDA presents no evidence for menthol's effects on actual smokers. And then there's a list of all of the references. Mm-hmm. So they have no scientific evidence of nicotine and menthol's effect on humans. Only on rats, mice, and probably I don't know, cadaver brain tissue, maybe. I don't know what, if they're using human tissue. I don't know. I know it wasn't alive. It was cultures, or not cultures, but slides, right?
Right. Well, I'll go to the Victor share screen real quick.
Well, since Victor's here, yes, well, he was here. I don't know if he's still here. He may have left already.
I don't know if he's still here. I'll rub it just a little. I completed the inevitable and taken menthol off the list of chemicals. So there, right there, that little X, I took the menthol out for everybody for the FDA just to go, there we go. Kev already did it. We're already set. All those other things will remain the same except for OPN. Where's N? Nicotine. Nicotine's going to be reduced as well in some brands. Somewhere in Chicago or something. But we took your menthol out for you. And then, by the way, if you Google add menthol to cigarettes, you'll find 5 million answers. Just in case. That was the
there's methods.
There's ways you can Google this crap, and then you're going to possibly endanger your lives. And,
Yeah. So
if
on
you
the
grab
topic,
a eucalyptus leaf and you soak it, right? That's probably the best way.
there's even easier ways.
Get your drop bears to send you some koala food. What's going on with Michelle?
So Michelle
Friend
Minton,
Michelle.
on the same topic of menthol and verbiage on websites, Michelle says, check out the restraint on CDC, which waited almost 2 whole weeks before deleting from their website any language that might contradict FDA's recently announced plan to prohibit menthol cigarettes. And then there's a web archive link.
The Wayback Machine.
We're going to use the web archive link.
Wayback Machine. That's what it was.
Tobacco companies add menthol to make cigarettes seem less harsh and more appealing to new smokers and young people. Menthol cigarettes are not less harmful. They are just as dangerous as non-menthol cigarettes. Different groups of people, like some racial ethnic minorities, LGBT. So I don't get that. Like, I know that we've quoted that here on the show, that supposedly that for some reason gay people or trans people or whatever prefer menthol. Is who you choose to sleep with a factor in how you deliver?
I think they're just trying to pigeonhole something. I don't know for sure what that link is on that.
I'm sure if I'm sure that Bastard could probably answer that question.
All I know is leave freaking people alone. That's what. Who cares?
So anyway, what does it say? Some studies show that people who smoke menthol cigarettes have a harder time quitting smoking than those who smoke non-menthol cigarettes.
Bullshit.
So apparently this has been expunged or changed.
Correct.
Let's see. No longer are menthols just as dangerous as non-menthol cigarettes. CDC says they're worse because menthol enhances the effects of. Oh, so they changed that line.
So they're aiming at the nicotine inadvertently on purpose, accidentally. I don't know.
Accidentally on purpose.
Nothing makes it more addictive. Bullshit. It either is or it isn't. Bullshit.
We really need to figure out a way to get Joseph Magaro on the show. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I want to go. Can you scroll up on the comment from Liana at 11:11?
At 10:11?
Well, okay. Well, that makes sense to me. I was a menthol smoker toward the end. I tried little cigars. I tried the Swisher Sweets. I tried menthol just to try to cut down, and it literally did me no good. If it others, but it didn't work for me. I thought
I never enjoyed menthol cigarettes.
No.
Now, periodically, if that was the only thing that I could get, or in the winter time, and I was a little stuffed up, I would get a pack of menthol, or I would just pop a peppermint into my mouth and smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
You know, the little red and white peppermint things, the little cheapies. Just throw one of them in your mouth and smoke your cigarette. That's almost like menthol cigarette right there.
But that's personalizing your individual desires and tastes and thoughts and needs and wants, and not mine, right?
No, but I'm just saying is that,
Yeah, and why shouldn't people do what they like? I never thought of the peppermint thing when I had a cold. I just didn't like menthol. It wasn't soothing to me. I don't know. Maybe it is. It wasn't to me. I didn't like it. I didn't say anybody else
You're
doesn't.
Weird. Well, I mean, and again,
there
I
you
didn't
go.
normally like it, but when I was stuffed up, I liked it.
Sure, I get the theory behind it, but it didn't work for me. But who am I to say Liana shouldn't do whatever she was doing or wants to do? I am in no position to tell her what to do, or you, or anybody else. What you got there, Zippy?
I had to put a battery. I was changing the battery.
So
fresh battery.
Anyway, I want everybody to rest assured that I put the X on the menthol and the ingredients of the list that I can find of the flavors, because those are all flavors as far as I can tell. Those are just flavors because they
things that they add
cocoa
to combustible cigarettes to add flavor.
They got rat hairs, they got cocoa, they got all kinds of shit in the cigarettes that could make it, I'm sure, more enhanced and more addictive. I'm sure more addictive is all bullshit to me, but go ahead.
So you sent an article from Medical Express also.
I did. Yes, sir.
This is a different one than the one that I
sir.
already had.
That's correct.
So I thought Medical Express was owned by. Let me scroll down here. I thought for sure that website was owned by somebody that I didn't like.
What I know is they seem to have some sense of balance. You got to look for it, but
I could have sworn
it's not the rag of.
They were owned by like the Washington Times or
that could be.
No, it's a British They're owned by a British company.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
they're owned by Science.
You really trust the Brits?
They're owned by Science X.
Oh, well.
So anyway, smokers who switch to e-cigarettes may adopt other healthy routines.
Can you imagine that?
I just saw I don't know that this doesn't seem very attractive to me, Kevin.
Well, it's got health in it.
This is too muscly for a female form, in my opinion. I don't know. It seems kind of too hard. Too hard. I would like a little squishiness. Mm-hmm. But anyway, adult smokers who shift to using e-cigarettes may have more chances to improve health and well-being, according to new research from the University of Washington. The study monitored changes in health and social functioning among smokers at 2 stages in adulthood, at age 30 and again at age 39. Approximately 1/3 of smokers shift to vaping, some or all of the time by age 39. This group reported better physical health, exercised more, and had more active social engagement, the study found.
Stop. They're not being pigeonholed over into the smoking section. Go ahead.
Well, no, but when you make one healthy choice, you tend to start looking at things from that same point of view and decide maybe I should make a few other healthier choices. So despite the obvious risks to non-smokers, e-cigarettes have the potential to play a health-promoting role in the lives of smokers, said study co-author Marina Epstein, a research scientist with the Social Development Research Group in the University of Washington School of Social Work.
You see what she did there, but all right. Despite the
obvious risk to non-smokers, well, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah. 5% of the risk of smoking is still 5% of the risk of smoking.
Yeah.
So the study, which recently was published in the Drug and Alcohol Dependence Journal, drew from a large longitudinal study, the Seattle Social Development Project, which in 1985 began following some 800 children as 5th graders in Seattle elementary schools. You know what? If I had a kid in Seattle and people started following my kid, I would be very upset.
But I like this because they started in 85.
Yeah,
So
that's when you were like 30.
This is a long-term, real life, allegedly. So that's why I was enjoying sharing it with you and our friends. Intimately, of course.
I don't want to be intimate with you, Kevin.
Well, stop touching me then.
The sample for the current study focused on 156 of those participants who reported smoking at age 30 and smoking or vaping at age 39. E-cigarettes first appeared in the United States in the mid-2000s. That's, okay. Right around the time the participants in the study sample turned 30. By 2018, 10% of adult smokers nationally also used e-cigarettes. Vaping is especially popular among teens and young adults. See, they got to throw that shit in there.
Right.
The CDC identifies e-cigarettes as the most popular tobacco product among young people in the United States, estimating that nearly 21% of youth use e-cigarettes. That's a made-up number. Previous research from the University of Washington and others found that adolescent and young adult vaping can lead to later cigarette use. That is bullshit. In this way, there's an actual show. Go back to our show. I think the show is Gateway Destroyed or Gateway, it's Gateway something. It's like maybe
it's rusty.
A month and a half ago.
Very rusty.
Yeah, that's BS. There's no such thing. There's no gateway. In this way, e-cigarettes have been a public health disaster, said study lead author Rick Kosterman, a research scientist with the Social Development Research Group. At the same time, while vaping carries certain risks, the aerosol contains nicotine, small amounts of heavy metals, and other ultrafine and cancer-causing particles that's a lie, that can enter the lungs. The CDC considers them safer than traditional or combustible cigarettes. That's true. But yes, I still challenge any one of these fuckers to actually prove, when used appropriately, how this could generate any cancer-causing particles. It's not possible. My neck just popped. Anyway, given the common perception of e-cigarettes as a healthier alternative, the researchers wanted to examine behavior among the smokers who switched to e-cigarettes some or all of the time as they approach midlife. That's where I am. The research team collected a series of acceptable measures of healthy aging and well-being, such as overall physical and mental health, engaging in healthy behaviors and social activities, and education income levels. They then surveyed participants at ages 30 and 39 about this information and how often they engage in certain activities. I'm waiting for a response, Kevin.
For me?
From anyone. Yeah, I mean, you're the only other person here. I have to rest my voice for a minute.
It's all bullshit. I'm still looking for the gateway. Look.
Oh, it's not. It doesn't exist.
The clusterfuck vape ban just saved my tank again. Look at that.
See?
Look at that.
Of the 156 study participants, 64% smoked only combustible cigarettes at age 39, 28% smoked and vaped, and only 8% only vaped. Results from the survey showed that more frequent vaping relative to smoking was associated with better physical health, more exercise, more active social engagement, and higher socioeconomic status.
Well, saving a little money.
Poor people can't afford vaping is what they're saying.
Right.
Although the study cannot show a causal relationship, we think that because e-cigarettes have less stigma, less odor, and are less physically harmful, they may increase health-promoting opportunities among smokers. E-cigarette users may be more likely to be in settings that promote physical activity and have more opportunities to interact with non-smokers.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah. No association was found between smoking or between switching to vaping and better mental health, less frequent use of other substances such as alcohol, and whether one's partner or close peers smoke, though vapors' broader social environment may be healthier. Well, I still drink, so
you think?
Sometimes. Not as much as I was, Kevin.
That's because you're interacting socially.
It's been like a year since I've gotten drunk on the stream.
Well, that's good.
I know, right? Overall, the researchers stress that e-cigarettes still have substantial public health downsides. But this study shows that smokers who turn to vaping, whether occasionally or instead of cigarettes, may have more opportunities for healthier lifestyle choices. That doesn't mean vaping is healthy, they say, but that for people who already smoke or are unable to quit, it can be associated with other healthy routines.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
See. All I know is if you feel better and you're willing to do more walking, riding a bike, climbing a mountain, you can do so.
Ain't no mountain
Because it's
high enough.
safer. Probably there's going to be a study of just a prediction. I'm going to try to go with Dr. Gardner's theories of predictions. There'll be a theory that vaping causes injuries because we become more active as non-smokers, because we can breathe better. And then suddenly we're going to have higher chances of injuries. Now, I don't know if I've seen that, or maybe somebody has seen it already.
As a physical therapist, I can provide anecdotal evidence that as we make patients more independent, not totally independent, but as we make them stronger and they're no longer couch bound or bed bound, and they're starting to get up and move more, that incidents of injury do increase.
Of course. But correlation.
Oftentimes we get a patient that is bed bound, and as we get them stronger to the point where they can get up and walk themselves to the bathroom, sometimes in the middle of the night they actually fall and break a hip, while they're taking themselves to go pee.
Well, that's correlating while you're
I said anecdotal, but yes, we actually do have. We do actually. I sent a patient to the hospital today.
Just do me a favor, my friend. Timestamp my prediction, and we'll see what happens. Because we'll be around a while till they.
Sure. I mean, the bills are paid for the year, but I gotta hit up our sponsor because they owe us for the next 6 months.
So
to pay me back for all the stuff that I paid for up front.
Because
we don't have enough followers to turn on super chats. We don't get super chats, Kevin. I have friends that pay their entire house note and all of their home expenses just on super chats. That's crazy.
It sounds crazy to me.
Well, I mean, I have an acquaintance that has been streaming the Johnny Depp Amber Heard stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he gets a lot of money.
No kidding. So I need to do that? Is that what So see, Liana.
He did the work and built up following.
There you go. Liana hurt her knee because she vapes. There it is right there.
No, I think it's just because she's old.
Oh my God. What, 21 is old to you?
No, she actually said right there, nope, it's just because I'm getting old. See, she said it right there.
I'm just listen.
I think she's older than me, but younger than you.
I'm not sure. They're all 21 to me. It doesn't matter.
You call one of our friends cranky old broad.
Right. Skip. Yeah, that's different. Have you met her?
She's never been cranky to me.
she's we're the same age. She's Skip's special.
Kevin, quit lying. You're not 54.
All right.
You're 74.
All right.
At least you look 74.
84.
Well, no, you look good for 84, but
Logan's going to drive in 13 years. I just want to make that clear.
I saw that tweet or a Facebook post.
13 years. That's it. That's all we got left. Neither of the parents liked that statement. And I said, that's too bad. I don't know why they don't like it.
The truth.
Oh, look, this is exactly what I said earlier. Look who's advertising.
Well, this is a newspaper article about this is
And they have-
Colorado.
they
This
have
is the
carte
Colorado Public Radio CPR news. Flavor ban bill dies in Senate committee as session scrambles to wrap up. This is the Colorado flavor ban bill, I believe, is what this was.
We got to
So
win.
a bill banning flavored tobacco products failed to make it past key Democratic state senators Tuesday. Members of the Senate Appropriations Committee voted down the bipartisan proposal HB 22-1064 on a 5-2 vote. 3 Republicans were joined by Democratic state senators Robert Rodriguez and Rachel Zenzinger in voting no. The bill had been heavily lobbied and one of the session's most high-profile and closely watched bills, but Governor Jared Polis said he opposed it and said the issue should be handled on the local level. This is like the Supreme Court saying that the federal government shouldn't legislate a woman's womb, that it's up to states to do so. Republican passed the buck. Republican Kyle Mullica, Representative Kyle Mullica, a Democrat from North Glen, said he hoped the measure would help prevent young people from getting hooked to flavored vaping products. Well, Kyle, parent your children. Don't make the government parent your children. You parent your children. We've already seen a whole generation become addicted, and the bill was going to do something about that and was going to make sure that we took a stand here in Colorado, where half those kids aren't even vaping nicotine anyway. They're vaping something else. It is Colorado. They're all potheads in that fucking state. Oh, sorry. We took a stand here in Colorado that we put the health of our kids first. It's a little disappointing not seeing it get passed because it was a stupid ass bill. Senate President Steve Fenberg signaled the demise of the bill with reporters earlier in the day. The Senate's top Democrat said he didn't think there was time left on the calendar, given everything else the lawmakers had to finish. Fenberg said he supports the bill, that he would have backed moving it forward had it come to the Senate earlier, implying the holdup was in the House. Oh yeah, pass the buck. Blame somebody else. The coalition fighting to pass the ban vowed to try again. The failure of the legislature to protect our kids won't dissuade us from working at every level to get these products out of stores. They want to protect kids, Kevin.
Well, Patrick, I've said this about 40,000 freaking times.
Again, they want to protect the kids, but they.
You want me to say it?
I'm trying not to be I'm trying not to get into this weeds, but there is video, and it is in Denver. It is in Colorado. It's one of those like conservative, like think tank guys interviewing people on the street, and they're talking about abortion.
Yeah.
And one of the girls that they pulled, a younger lady, probably in her early to mid 20s, said that she was all for abortion, and that as far as she was concerned, if a woman had a child, that it should be legal for her to take that child home, and as long as it was no older than the first 2 weeks, she should be able to legally put that child in a room and shut the door and just wait for it to die.
Okay.
I am not making that up.
Okay, then.
So they're protecting the kids, Kevin.
So we could bypass all these articles and all the bullshit if they worked on access, compliance, and enforcement. But they don't want to do that.
And
they want to walk
making parents do their fucking job.
Well, parenting is the obvious choice, but hey, listen, my kids got away with shit too, right? And I was pretty astute and beelining for certain things in their lives, but I didn't.
You were just
catch it
phoning it in, Kevin.
I did. Phoning a friend.
You were just phoning it in.
All I know is the
continued addiction of our children and the lifelong health issues they will be shackled with are not something we can or should walk away from.
No, of course not.
So, but our friend Amanda says Colorado rejecting the flavor ban is a signal for other jurisdictions to refocus public health efforts on what works.
Yes.
Dash vaping. Said vape shop owner Amanda Wheeler with the Rocky Mountain Smoke Free Alliance. Flavor bans won't work, but promoting vape products does help adults quit smoking and keeps adults from relapsing to deadly cigarettes. On Monday, the bill was still alive and moving through the Senate. The Finance Committee advanced it 4-1. The debate on the committee echoed earlier hearings, with proponents saying the measure would prevent young people from taking up vaping or smoking and ultimately save lives, and opponents saying the bill impact on small business would be big and the ban would penalize adults who vape. Wheeler testified that companies selling flavored vapor products generate big tax revenues for the states. See, Colorado, though, I mean, they actually have a tax surplus because of the 95% tax on the marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was reading an article and they were saying that they actually have a budget surplus every year.
People run out of money for a while.
And they're making up ways to spend that money because they can't keep it.
You think maybe they should put that towards some other things?
Yeah, maybe actually hiring more cops to enforce laws you already have on the books. I don't know. Maybe since you probably have a whole bunch of young parents that aren't doing a good job, maybe you should start parenting classes with that money.
I love you, Mark. Bernie. Bernie. Patrick and I would be here if none of you were here. That's the sad
and we would
thing.
still be talking to Bernie.
I love
Our locally owned businesses provide 2,370 jobs in Colorado. In 2021, vapor businesses paid over $126 million in wages and over $85 million in taxes and federal or state and federal taxes. But University of California, San Francisco Tobacco Research, he's not with University of California at San Francisco anymore. He shouldn't be allowed to use that title anymore because he's no longer an employee of that university. Says the ban would have saved Coloradans money. We've estimated just a 1% reduction in cigarette smoking would save the state $46.3 million. So see, he's arguing for vaping here. 1% reduction in smoking would save $43.6 million the following year. So we should promote vaping so that fewer people smoke.
Yeah, well. So Patrick, just let me roll for a second.
Okay.
Kids aren't allowed to smoke. Is that correct? I mean, you got to be 21. So anybody under 21 is not allowed to smoke.
Not
right?
legally, yes.
Okay, legally. Now, if your child is literally one of the 20% that start smoking around age 11 to 13, according to Tobacco Free Kids and Ruth Malone herself, 90% of children start smoking before age 11 or around age 11. Is that acceptable to you so far?
What was that about age 11? What?
You're going to smoke by age 11, the average.
Nah, I think most people go to like 14 or 15.
I thought it was going to be higher too. They hit 13 on Tobacco Free Kids. So I'm using two quotes to confuse you on purpose accidentally. Now, if those two facts are true, what would be the sensible way to reduce the smoking rates of children?
Pay more attention to your kids so that you
pay more attention to your kids. Okay. And enforce the law, right? Well,
yeah. I mean, that's
but there's a law that says about 20% of children can access tobacco at the point of sale. So there, I'm done.
That's actually not a law, Kevin.
Well, it's a high suggestion.
It is an amendment.
Well, it's a recruitment rate is what it is. But I know it's an amendment. I got you.
It's an amendment to an existing legislative item.
Laws. Hey, don't talk to me like that in that tone of voice.
I have to rub my temples now.
Dave's here, and I think Bernie had to go out again. He said shit. Teach you to talk to the wall. I love that. That was good. David's come in.
David Lloyd, yes, he was late. I would offer to start over at the beginning, David, but Kevin is not getting any younger.
No. No.
So you're just going to have to go back to the beginning on the replay.
You ever been to Harbor Freight?
Yes.
Harbor Freight is addictive. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, but it is cheap shit, though.
It's cheap shit, but it's addictive.
It is
every corner I go around, I'm like, damn, I should. No, I better not.
It is pretty cheap shit, though, Kevin.
Well, those ain't no better.
Don't buy any power tools there for sure.
No,
unless you only want it for one job.
I went for hinges. I got a couple other things, hooks and stupidity, but you can't not. It's just addictive. I should have an intervention. Look at that. Look at that.
Tobacco tax may be associated with higher e-cigarette use among young people.
What?
Well, this is Emily Henderson from Australia.
But either way,
has reviewed this, and she does have a Bachelor of Science.
No, well, that doesn't.
She's a BSc, a Bachelor of Science.
BSer. Go ahead.
I have a master's degree.
I don't care what your
Does that mean I'm smarter than her?
Contains. Yes, it probably does. I'll assume you're smarter than her anyway.
Academically more advanced than she is. Is that what that means?
Oh,
because my master's is in a science.
How my temples hurt.
It's not like I have a master's degree in some sort of liberal arts thing. It's actually scientific based. I'm just saying. Anyway, globally, most adolescents who experiment with vaping don't develop an addiction, but the way tobacco products were taxed may be linked with higher e-cigarette use among young people, according to new University of Queensland research. Damn Aussies. Lead author Dr. Gary Chan from the University of Queensland's National Center for Youth Substance Use Research said the University of Queensland study analyzed data from nearly 152,000 teens in 47 countries who participated in the WHO tobacco survey between 2015 and 2018. Dr. Chan said there are two likely reasons why there are low levels of frequent vaping among young people. So you see that there are low levels of frequent vaping among young people. Low levels. Low level. I'm just
yeah. There is
low
no
levels, Kevin.
Yeah.
So low levels, is that an epidemic?
Well, that depends on how Jerry wants to provide the information toward you.
Anyway, well, it wasn't Jerry that started that. You know that, right?
No.
It was the other chucklehead that's back.
Right. They did the 300.
He's the one that declared a pandemic.
Right.
Or an epidemic.
Well, Jerry gave a definition of epidemic on Twitter to us, and we all laughed.
I don't know. That's the same guy that said he didn't aware that you could add as many as 10 years if you quit smoking.
Well,
this guy's a dumbass. Anyway, e-cigarettes are often sold in colorful packages with highly palatable flavors that appeal to adolescents, and this could lead to experimentation, but not continued use.
What? I don't understand.
What?
Are you telling me that we've been lied to for the past 7-8 years? It must be the nicotine then. Huh.
While some e-cigarettes contain high levels of nicotine, adolescents can also vape non-nicotine or low-nicotine e-cigarettes, which are less addictive.
Huh.
Okay, so if there's no nicotine, how could it be addictive at all?
Well, that goes to the sensory side of your brain, I assume.
So if things feel good, you can be addicted even if they're not a drug?
Well, it's the hand-to-mouth bullshit story,
Well,
which isn't really a bullshit story. I think that's true.
I mean, there are a lot of things that feel good that I do all the time.
Hey, family show.
Is that an addiction?
We don't. Listen, when your Pornhub is never late, your subscription.
Oh, I don't need Pornhub. I have a really good imagination.
Dear Stan,
E-cigarettes.
could you send me? No. That's right.
Dear Stan, here's a piece of wood with a nail in it. Could you video yourself bashing yourself into the head with the nail over and over again?
Diet lollipop. Hey, listen.
Yeah. E-cigarettes heat flavorings, chemicals, and nicotine extracted from tobacco or synthetic to create an aerosol that is inhaled. In Australia, it is illegal to use, sell, or buy nicotine for use in an e-cigarette without a prescription. Yes. The study examined if there was a link between the number of adolescents using e-cigarettes and WHO's tobacco use monitoring and prevention policies, monitoring smoke-free policies, cessation programs, warning about the dangers of tobacco, advertising bans, and taxation. We found that higher tobacco taxes were associated with higher levels of youth vaping. Yeah, they make the smokies more expensive, that they go to a cheaper alternative. I think we should be doubling the taxes on cigarettes and removing the taxes on vaping. Let's see what happens, buddy.
I agree with Mark. Fig did math one time. It's 80 million times a year you do this with a cigarette, and that was the day I went, wow, what a great analysis of.
Hey,
of
like Kevin's kid just demonstrated, certain hand gestures become addictive.
Poor Dustin.
One of these days, he's gonna watch the replay and go, "Dad."
Nah, he don't care about me.
Yeah, he's not ever gonna watch it. He's got other things to do.
He has watched the show a couple times. He watched Skip and Richard. He was in awe of Richard.
Well, I mean, everybody should watch that show.
Huge relation for him for that show. That was very good.
Yeah. We could suggest that young people in countries with higher tobacco tax might be substituting traditional cigarettes with e-cigarettes. We hope the results will be used to develop and implement comprehensive global strategies and policies to limit the increase of e-cigarette use in low and middle income countries. A previous study, co-led by UQ's University of Queensland's Dr. Chan, found TikTok exposes young people to videos that could reinforce a positive attitude toward vaping and e-cigarette use with little reference to health consequences. Considering that we just talked about a research that showed that youth targeting messages tended to get the kids' attention more about vaping than actually focusing on less kiddie messaging.
Yeah. Old farts vaping.
Yeah. Show me and Kevin vaping. Kid will never want to do that shit.
Nobody will care, right? What the hell's that old man doing? That's the way I see it, yeah.
Yeah.
Just me puttering around in the garage.
Show me and Kevin vaping like this. Kids will never want to do it. I mean, look at those two boomers.
Chuckleheads. Right. I'm good at being a bad example. I don't mind.
I am definitely a bad example.
Yeah.
I would suggest to people, never, ever, ever ask me to babysit your kids.
Here's some matches. Here's some paper. Let's see what happens.
I mean, there are some horror stories of actual stupid people asking me to take care of their kids, and I took good care of their kids. I just happened to, pop them up on caffeine and sugar, and then when Mama came to get them, they were bouncing off the walls and ready to go home.
And they never came back, right?
And they never ever. And I did buy a couple of drum sets, like my first drum kit sets that they sell at Christmas time, and sent to all of my little nephews and cousins.
Because it's not your problem.
Yeah, not my fucking kids.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly.
I'll even come over and set the damn kid up for them. Bash away, boys. Go ahead.
Get that frustration and anger out. I don't like your parents either.
I don't like most people, actually.
Well,
just, you know, it is the way it is.
Liana, I had a brother who bit his nails forever, and he doesn't do it anymore. And I actually have never asked him how he stopped, but man, oh man, did he do that?
I have never ever once considered doing this. Not ever once.
No, I've done it on occasion because it was a momentary lapse of, whatever.
Actually, Liam says that I would show them horror shows and while they were all hyped up, and then they would have nightmares. I actually have an example of watching somebody's kid, and we watched the movie The Last of the Mohicans, which is not a horror movie. Daniel Day-Lewis,
age-appropriate stuff.
Madeline Stowe, a movie, and the kid had nightmares of Indians like scalping him.
Yeah, well,
because there is some graphic scalping going on in that movie.
One of my aunts used to tell me the boogeyman was going to get me if I was near a window. I was like 4. Scared the hell out of me.
Nah, I just stand at the window and do this. When I was 4. Come and get me, motherfucker. I got a knife.
Mm-mm-mm. Now that's a knife.
That is a knife. Always have a knife nearby. You never know when you might need to cut somebody.
Or clean your fingernails. Yeah.
Snitches get stitches.
It's a tool. It's a tool.
Stitches get stitches, Kevin.
I just reminded myself not to let you watch Logan, just in case.
Oh, so my actual nephew.
Yeah.
I did not show him the movie The Shining.
But you got.
However, his mother is frightened the shit out of that movie. And no, don't. The Girl Scouts need to come to my house with cookies.
Cookies, yeah.
Yes, I want cookies. David Lloyd is ruining my opportunities to get cookies.
Adults don't like flavors, Patrick.
I love the Tagalogs, the chocolate and peanut butter dipped cookie. But anyway,
red rum.
Yeah. So I taught my nephew when he was like 3.
Well, yeah.
To go into when his mom and dad were sleeping and stand there with his finger and go red rum, red rum, red rum. And he did it for like 6 months straight.
Good. And they don't bring him around anymore, do they?
Well, I think he's like 22 now.
Oh my God. So
yes, I did teach. I will freely admit that I did do that to my poor brother's wife.
I've got Logan saying
poor wife.
He says indignant today.
Red rum, red rum, red rum. I need to watch that movie now. That is absolutely one of my favorite movies. I love that movie. Even though Stephen King hates it, I still love it.
Well, it's not his problem to worry
about. No, that's
a
Stanley Kubrick movie. That is not a Stephen. That is very extremely loosely based on a Stephen King thing.
Yeah.
But here's more awesomeness from Medical Express.
What?
This is the third article from Medical Express tonight.
It's like they're a sponsor. Goodness.
Almost. So it says here, new study finds global adolescent vaping is low.
Huh.
This is by the Society for the Study of Addiction.
Huh. Ain't that neat?
A new study published in the scientific journal Addiction has found, and I will say, addiction has always been a very good source for us, even before the Royal College of Physicians paper, the nicotine without smoke paper. The Journal of Addiction had done a massive review of like 100 surveys, or not 100 scientific studies and surveys, and released a huge report on vaping, and it came to almost exactly the same conclusions. But I always preferred, when using like documentation to send to politicians, I always preferred the addiction one, because it was less of a, well, this is the Royal College of Physicians thing. This is a global group of, this is from the Journal of Addiction. And, a lot of, especially since a lot of the criticism at the time when the UK thing came out was, well, the first argument was, well, those are British lungs, those aren't American lungs. And then they would say, oh, well, Americans, their usage patterns are different than European. So this way I would say, well, this is the Journal of Addiction. These are the experts on addiction.
There's no bias in country or origin.
Right. So a new study published today in the Journal of Addiction has found that approximately 8.6% of adolescents reported using e-cigarettes in the last 30 days, but only 1.7% engaged in frequent vaping. This is way better than the 25% or whatever was in the previous bullshit that we were reading.
I predicted it as 10 on 30-day and 5 across the board. That's my assumption, and it's actually going to be the assumption of cigarette smoking too. Literally.
But this says 1.7% are frequent users.
Way better than I could ever expect.
Yeah. This suggests most adolescents who vape are experimenting, but not making it a habit. And it must not be as addictive as cocaine or heroin that a lot of people are saying. Researchers from the University of Queensland, Australia, again, wanted to estimate as far as possible the global prevalence of adolescent vaping. The researchers analyzed data from 151,960 adolescents in 47 countries who participated. So this is literally the same guys that were just doing the research that we just talked about.
Right. Yep.
About taxes are now saying, here's another thing from the data we reviewed from the WHO Youth Tobacco Survey. The overall weighted prevalence of adolescent vaping and frequent vaping in the last 30 days was 8.6% and 1.7%. And this is also lead author Gary Chan says there are two likely explanations for the low level of frequent vaping among young people. First, e-cigarettes are relatively new and often sold in colorful. So this is literally the same fucking paper, right? Or the same quotes, just pointing out a different aspect of that research.
Yeah.
So they actually got two articles out of one bit.
Now, when you and I are looking at articles, good or bad, doesn't matter. We're looking for the truth within the lie or the lies within the truth. Sometimes there's both. So there really is. Even the best of us can go, well, you got to say that too. And that's acceptable. But
I prefer to be as nonpartisan as possible.
Yeah, accurate. I want accuracy. Yeah. So if this is WHO, World Health, mafia organization sponsored, if that's what this is, and I didn't actually read these, then they really could now ignore or at least subside their focus on children and start focusing on the adults, who they say was, 4 million, 6 million, 8 million, 9 million people a year who die of smoking, allegedly. Now, if you could actually do some good. If you're in the health industry, then I would suggest that highly. But that's just me. I don't know. What do I know? I'm a chucklehead on the wall over at Mark's.
Here, entertain people for a minute.
What? Gally says Stephen King eater egg. What? Oh, The Shining. I'm not sure what that's about. Good night, Yolanda. Dave, I'm glad you came in. Mowgli, you came in late. We don't care. We're good. We like that. There was some other comment. Oh, the hand to mouth. Hand to mouth can do that with children as well, as far as I'm concerned. The bottle, the nook, or whatever they call it, that's a hand to mouth issue. A lot of things like that.
The whoopee?
Yeah, the binky. Yeah, the thing.
Binky.
They took Logan off at about 2. Look at you. They took him off of it at 2, and I was like, man, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, this is
he did well. He did
special slipcase edition.
Ooh, it's see-through. Look at that.
It's not. It's not even green. Oh, this is shiny. But
Well, it looks see-through. No, on the house, above the house,
there's a little bit of green smoke.
Yeah, it's see-through there. That's nice. I like that. I like.
But yes, the shining.
You see Mowgli's. It was spoken in an episode of Downton Abbey. Something about the shine he'd mentioned in Stephen King eater egg. Does that make sense to you?
This is the Cemetery Dance collection. Yeah.
Ta-da! Ta-da!
I'm surprised that Mowgli knows what Cemetery Dance is. That's a very small publishing company that do like boutique
noise
editions.
So there's low usage rates on youth. So what you're saying is that all these people in the United States have been lying for a few years at least.
Mm-hmm.
Or exaggerating. They're not actually lying. They're just exaggerating the numbers.
Well, they're definitely inflating them.
They're inflating the potential,
for sure,
not the actual. Okay, I got you.
For sure.
Gotcha. What do we do about that? Just let them roll.
Well, there's not really much we can do. I mean, obviously, right. I just showed you this week and last week alone with the embedded advertising, the what they call native advertising, the paid for content in local news channels.
So what you're
saying, we can't compete against that.
They have to pay to get their message,
yes,
to be louder than our message. That's a sad state of spending money.
Yeah,
it really is. Ain't that neat?
It is. It is redonkulous.
Yeah.
How that David Lloyd. The Stanley Hotel is the actual hotel that The Shining is based on. It wasn't his honeymoon. He actually took his wife there to finish a novel. Like he always goes it's in Estes Park. Yes. And actually one of my favorite bands every year at Halloween does a weekend thing where they play concerts they take over the Stanley Hotel and they play concerts there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a band called Murder by Death.
Is it still an open hotel?
Yes. No, it's still it's still a hotel.
Okay.
But the one in the movie is not the actual Stanley Hotel.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it is part of it was filmed in England and part of it was filmed in they actually went to the real Stanley Hotel to do a lot of research.
Yeah.
But then they used a different hotel in a different state to do the filming.
Well, that ain't no fun.
Yeah. But yes, he went there to write. He always goes to finish a book. Like does a getaway to go finish his book in privacy, at the time at least. And he was there, and he wrote like one of his books before this. He finished it there, and then he was inspired to start another book. But anyway, I didn't want to. We just started talking about The Shining for a minute, and I had to show the book, and it has nothing to do with anything. Red Rob.
I was like 10 when I saw it.
I love that movie.
My mom's like, go to bed, but I can't. Look at these little girls. They're saying Red Rob, or that little boy saying Red Rob. That little girls are down. Oh my God.
It's yeah. What was I going to? Oh yeah, share screen again. So speaking of horror stories, so apparently somebody wrote a parody of the musical play Grease.
It is the word, by the way. Grease is the word.
Yes. They made a parody of Grease, and they called it Vape the Musical. And apparently somebody got sued.
Well,
so a U.S. judge on Thursday ruled that Vape the Musical, which mocks the blockbuster 1978 film Grease, amounted to fair use and did not infringe on the rights of the owners of the Grease copyright. So I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but a lot, if not all, of those old plays that you did in school, like my high school, they did a Grease play or a Grease musical. Your school has to actually pay to put that on.
Yeah, you do.
So like you can't just have like Grease the musical at your high school without somebody paying for the rights for the play to be produced at your school.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody was upset that somebody had made a parody of parody is protected. Like I can do a parody song of, look at Weird Al Yankovic. He actually has made an entire career out of parodying stuff. So anyway, they made a parody of Grease, and they called it Vape, and somebody sued somebody. So Chief Judge Laura Taylor Swain of the Manhattan Federal Court said Sketchworks industrial strength comedy, the Atlanta troupe that created Vape, transformed Grease by updating it to the Me Too era and exposing its misogynistic tendencies. Written in 1971, Grease ran on Broadway from 1972 to 1980, while the film starred John Travolta and the love of my young life. I had a crush on Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, I still love her. Oh,
from Grease to Xanadu, I own a copy of Xanadu just so that I can watch her roller skate around. I just had to think for her. Grease depict and especially in Grease when she gets all like naughty girled up at the end.
Tell me about it, stud.
Yeah. So Grease depicts the ups and downs of relationships between Danny Zuko and Sandy Olsen, and they changed it to Dombrowski in the musical, and among other friends as they navigate senior year at fictional Rydell High School in the 1950s. Vape had the same characters and a similar story, but it had many differences, including by using millennial slang, highlighting how the teenage characters randomly burst into song and dance and looked at least 30. Changed Grease Lightning to Prius Lightning, and faulting the happy ending where Sandy underwent a radical makeover to win Danny's heart. So what was once considered a romantic thing to do to get the man of your dreams or whatever. Yeah. And in the second movie, they did a switcheroo, and the girl was naughty and the boy was the good boy. And at the end, he became the naughty one. He's the one that changed for her. So people forget that. So they're, one of the criticisms is that, this is a misogynistic thing, but they did a sequel, and in the sequel they switched it. You know, in a 22-page decision, Swain said that by keeping the Grease characters and plot arc while changing the script and lyrics, Vape comments on how misogynistic tendencies have both evolved since Grease was developed in the same. See, they called it Vape, but there's nothing about vaping in here. That
Right.
really
Yeah. I didn't catch the whole drift of that either, but yeah.
Yeah.
They're just using an updated, graded word to get attention or what?
But yeah, I mean, Olivia Newton-John was I would, and what year was this out? Like 1980?
Grease,
was like 8. I think I was like 8.
I thought it came out like 78, but I was.
Well, then I would have been 6.
You
and I had a crush on her when I was 6 then.
Of course. Yeah. She's saying, I honestly love you right to me. I mean, I don't know what she was talking to you about. But...
When Michelle Pfeiffer in 2, in Grease 2.
Yeah. Not as good, but yeah.
Oh, she's her too.
Oh.
Just saying.
It's all right.
Just saying.
My cat drools on me all the time. My grandson does that still on occasion.
I drool on my pillow sometimes.
And then he says, sorry.
And then I drool on my wife's pillow. She really gets mad.
Oh,
why is there a wet spot on my pillow?
Yeah, because she's going to get her rust all over her damn knife. Cut it out. No pun intended. Well, yeah, it was intended. Yeah.
Poor Kevin.
I don't understand.
Poor Kevin.
Sorry.
Sorry.
He said indignant.
Did he use it in proper context?
He mumbled and jumbled through it, but I understood his point. It's okay. That boy's got a very good vocabulary. He's not using everything yet. He's moving right along. For 3, he can almost already outtalk me.
Well, I'm all the research shows that if you speak like adults in front of kids,
yes, sir, that
they pick up adult language.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not meaning, well, I picked up adult language the bad way, but that they actually don't infantilize. They don't,
right.
It's actually better for their development if you don't coochie coochie coo and baby talk to.
Oh God, we've been doing. We haven't done that in 3 years. He's 3.5.
So after a certain point, you have to speak to them like he's a real person.
Yes, yeah, human, really, tiny human,
and not an object of your,
tiny adult. That's what he is.
I mean,
he's up here. I'm old. I can't bend over as well. I will down on occasion down on my knee to him, but I'll pick him up and we're having conversations here. This you've seen me with him on the show. And this is where I want him to be. I want him eye to eye, coffee breath and all, which I apologize for every time. I got to go.
Yeah. See all this cat talk. They're talking about cats in the chat room, dude.
Pop a piece of gum. So, yeah. There's a must-have conversation with him that you have to have. I don't know. Kitty cats are handsome. Yeah.
I'm not a cat person. Mm-mm.
Well, none of us like you anyway, Patrick. We don't care.
The only cat that I would ever own would be like a Bengal tiger.
Yeah.
Or, an actual animal.
Yeah.
That, could kill people for me.
If mine was social, I'd bring him over and show you, but yeah.
You own a cat?
We have a cat. We have a dog. I don't like the dog either, but that's all right. Mom died. The cat was in the house. There were 8 fucking cats, and he was the only one that I said, okay, I'll bring him home, other than the little tiny one that died like a month later. Yeah. So I like cats better than I like you. Don't be jealous.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
I'll speak for the whole room. We don't care if you don't like cats.
You don't have to like me.
None of us like you. What? Mark, I think, actually was putting you on the wall, and I'm just there by default. That's what I. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I've always had cats. Something to throw at people just in case.
The only cat that I would ever allow to cohabitate with me would be like a Maine Coon.
Oh, they're pretty. I've seen them. I don't own one though. Look,
And
see,
no,
Mark.
They're
Mark
more
acknowledged
like
me
dog.
without having
like
to
in my
say a word.
in my experience, Maine Coons actually show affection and
Yeah,
you know,
they all do
are
when
more
they want to.
dog-like.
Yeah. The cats
but
are very
yeah.
independent. They're like, "Hey, pet me. Okay, now fuck off."
No, see,
that's
I'm not paying to feed you if you're not going to show me affection when I call for you.
You want instant gratification, is what you're
I
saying.
want that dog. The dog is grateful that it's being fed and it has a roof over its head,
and that you're the door guy. You're right. That's what this one does.
And recognizes that I am the alpha.
Well, he let you think that. The dog's in charge. What is wrong with you?
Well, but he still lets me think that I'm in charge, and he does understand that I should be. I should at least be given the illusion that I'm the alpha in the house.
Well, that's what Logan does to me. Yeah, I understand. Okay. Yeah.
So you've been gaslighted by your grandchild. So
well, I think I'm in charge. I know I'm not, but
you're not even close to being in charge. So there's the boy.
Parents,
there's the boy. There's the wife.
Yeah.
There's the pothead and the other kid, and then
me. Yeah, Logan. It stuns me how in charge these two parents think they are, and he proves them wrong and me right, and I just giggle. And I thought you were in charge. How did he do that? I don't understand. It's okay.
Yeah.
All
right, Kevin.
They're good looking. They're good looking animals.
We have run through the gambit of all of the information that we preferred to tell people about.
Preferred.
As well as we were able to talk about The Shining a little bit. We talked about Sicario a little bit.
Right.
We talked about a stupid musical called Vape the Musical that's not even about vaping.
Right. There is one thing that I will use the Victor share screen for.
Well, hurry because Victor's not here, so it doesn't matter. I think he's
not
gone.
Okay, we're using the Victor share screen here.
Oh, let's do this one more time.
Just in case.
You want to go out? Let's go out. Come on, let's go for a walk.
Just in case. Jonathan Folds. It's kind of like Carl. I got a love-hate with him. I'm not against him. I'm not really for him. I follow him, etc. Jonathan Folds is his Foulds. Pennsylvania Public Health Sciences and Psychiatry at Penn State University, College of Medicine, Tobacco, and Health. He's also PSU Public Health. So he put this out great.
Now, let me preface this by saying Penn State University, I used to work on campus at Penn State University.
Did you? Good.
Is not really, it is the biggest party school in the United States. Just saying.
I thought UD always got top 10 for years and years, because you should never be as proud of your children as you think you are.
No, they're always number one on the number of
Penn is
Penn State for number of alcohol related incidents on campus.
Gotcha.
Every year.
Yeah, UD's usually in the top 10. Great quality, I'm assuming, paper by Susan Veldheer, who's a prevention researcher focused on diet and tobacco use in Penn State as well.
Penn State Hershey.
So
that's, she's the
Penn
diet.
State's a different one.
She's focused on diet and tobacco use in the chocolate capital of the world.
Chocolate lover. I think. Well, anyway,
I've been there. I've been to Hershey Park. I took my wife to Hershey Park.
What?
It's the whole city smells like chocolate, dude. It's not even funny. It's sickening.
I wonder if Chris, we should do patronage too. So the quote he's got, there are people that think we should live the way they want us to live our lives. Morals are standards set by others who want you. Yeah. So they're the ones that want to impose their lifestyle on everyone else because they're so self-righteous. And I thought, wow, look at the honesty in that tweet. Isn't that wonderful? So it's a pretty large, lots and lots of paragraphs and big old words that I barely understand. You know how I go. Health advocates have been working to educate the public about the harms of smoking for more than 50 years. Imagine the weight of that sentence. 50 years, and they can't get people not to smoke. So I'll hop in the YouTube world because I want you guys to have this as part of your arsenal. Hey, look, one of my favorite words right there. Look at that, huh? So they go through asking how you've been treated generally. And that quote and more is deep down in here, way down. If you go in the hospital and they keep them overnight, they're not going to take them out for a cigarette. Get them a patch or something. You know, the things that you experienced in your life. Well, as a matter of fact, most of them don't smoke and they just want to be assholes. It's their own form of torture. That could be their addiction. We've said that they're addicted to being pricks in various forms on this show, various ways. So I'll hop into our YouTubes before we close, and you're saying your thoughts or whatever. And I thought it was a really interesting article from that through John. And I would suggest highly that you follow him. There's lots of things that he says that I don't like, and there's lots of stuff that he does that I do. So whatever. That's how I learn. I'm trying to use the cranky old broads.
You're capable of learning?
Well, no.
I mean, at your age, your pathway should be pretty calcified.
I think I am. I think I. Oh! Look at Bernie! Look at Bernie.
So Bernie's line of merchandise and our wonderful clients have generated another $600 for the local shelter.
Nice.
Look at Bernie. Isn't she a pretty girl?
I love Mark for various reasons. And this is another one of them.
See, this is way cooler than some silly cat.
Right. The kindness to animals, and the way he goes about it, and he brings in people because of it. Yes, Mark. Yes, he will do that. And I don't mind that a bit because I don't like being wrong. 1, 2, I don't want to be wrong. I want to be accurate. But anyway, the doggy, I love the doggy thing, and I love the idea that that's happening.
See, now a cat would be disinterested in hanging out with people to raise money for pets in the shelter.
No, you don't know cats well enough. The cats are also social.
Cats don't care about anybody but themselves. They wouldn't be working as hard as Bernie to save other pets.
There's the YouTube link. Chat link rather. Cats are good. I had a cat that didn't like anybody but me. We called her LB, little bitch, is what her name was. LB,
well, I mean, the cat didn't like anybody but you, but I like everybody but you.
See, you have something in common then. You and Janice and the boys, and eventually Logan.
Everybody that actually knows you.
Yeah, pretty much. Except Skip. I think I got her convinced. I think she thinks I'm trying to be kind. I don't know. I really am, but it's not easy. Not for me. See, Liana's cats greet people. There you go. That's all you need to know. Liana's right. You're not. That's that.
I think she has a.
No. Look, Janine said the same thing. Not true. See?
Yeah, I don't believe you. I just don't believe you.
Stop being anti-cat.
Can't do it.
See, Leanna likes me. She likes me better. She likes you, I bet. I'd bet you a nickel. You said all right.
That's all right. That's okay.
I can't help myself.
Kevin's life matters too.
Oh. Talk to your children like they're young pups.
Young pups.
Yeah.
So, we have traversed through the voyage. We have gone through all of the pieces of information that we wanted to show you tonight. We showed you how they are, buying off news channels to spread bullshit. We showed you how they did it. We showed you that
they told us they were doing it.
I mean, unless they even put the paid for content or hashtag or sponsored, little thing that most people would not have noticed.
Is that something new, or has that been going on for a while? Where it's stated? I've never really noticed that, other than advertising.
No, I mean before they didn't have to, but it is now. It is especially if it's a nonprofit.
Is this a law, or is this just something they're?
It is a regulation by the FCC.
Wonderful,
but it doesn't. It's not like the label on the side of your e-liquid that is required to be a certain size and cover a certain percentage of the screen. So they can put it in a very small place, like hashtag paid for content, or a little pink square that says sponsored, or any of that.
These lies
and
are
we
brought
even
to you
showed
by.
you a few of them that didn't even put it on there.
Right. So it's still an iffy law. Then it's a
well. I mean, it hasn't. It is. What are they using? Their enforcement discretion.
Selective. Yeah. Discriminatory, selectively bullshit story.
Yeah, but I mean that's 2 weeks in a row that we were able to clearly show you.
Yeah.
The nonsense in action, the brainwashing, the propaganda, the huge amounts of money that they're shelling out to brainwash people, to social engineer,
gaslight. How can two chuckleheads on Mark's wall prove so many people so important wrong? That's what I don't understand.
Well, just because they're important doesn't mean that they're actually smart.
Oh, look, there's an I love me wall. Jeez. But just a moment while I bow down toward you. You fuck. That's how I feel about that. If I had an I love me wall, I'd burn it.
Yeah. So we showed you that. We showed you how they actually did research into what is a better brainwashing techniques.
Mm-hmm.
How they're trying to find better ways to lie to people and how to brainwash kids. We showed you Brad Rodu pointing out the lies of the CDC and the FDA.
And the Minton.
Michelle Minton also participated in the pointing at the lie. How, making one healthy choice to vape might lead to other healthier choices. How, tobacco taxes actually could help keep kids away from smoking and maybe using a safer, cheaper thing.
I don't like it, but yep, I get it.
How the actual data is out there that the number of youth people using vaping stuff is actually way lower than the lies have been told that you've been told. So we did all of that tonight, and we had some fun. So, Kevin, how do you want to say goodnight to our friends?
I want to say that you have to treat each other like you want to be treated. That's what I think, except for Skip.
Do unto others?
Well, pretty much. Yeah. If you want to go there, but I don't. I don't
do unto others before they do unto you.
Something like that. Similar. Yeah. Uh-oh. You mean in Washington, D.C.? I'll deny any and all. I would love.
See, I'm glad that Kevin got invited to speak in Washington, D.C. and I didn't.
I didn't get invited to speak in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, he's introducing you.
Oh, well, I don't know what he's going to introduce me as, but
did you download the app?
Will it be Chucklehead? Mr. Chucklehead out of Dayton, Ohio?
Because there's an app. You have to download an app onto your phone so that you
I
can
have
talk.
not. I think I have an email on my Twitter.
I got an email invitation, and I decided to download it. And then I replied to a few people that had already said hello. Yeah. Another app, because they made us download a different app for the CAFRA thing.
Yeah.
Last year, and now there's a whole nother app.
I'll check my email because I don't remember seeing it. It's probably in my junk then. Mark, I'm honored that you would even mention my name anywhere near Washington, D.C.
No, he's going to introduce you, and you're going to have to talk. I see.
All right.
Yeah, I want to talk to people.
I didn't know that. I had no idea. He must trust me more than I trust me.
Yeah, I went through the list. I know quite a few people on that list actually. That's in that app. You should definitely get the app.
App.
Yeah, get the app. But anyway, we enjoy showing all the nonsense to people. I mean, that's that I live to point out the hypocrisy and the craziness that these people are trying to pull off on the world, and by and large, getting away with it.
Ooh.
Because I pointed out to you guys because Kevin didn't realize that this was going on until so I'm not saying that every one of you didn't know, but we have showed you clearly the scripted nonsense that they're putting out into the world.
Yeah.
And it is ridiculous to me that the people of our world, not just our country, but our world, are buying into this nonsense. Like, so I pointed out to you guys. Now you guys have to go out and point it out to the rest of the world.
Yes.
Literally, we showed you 3 places last week and 9 places this week that are using the same stock footage, pretending, and trying to shill it off as if it was an interview.
So sad. We should try.
They don't even care enough to show up in person, or at least on a Zoom in person.
We really should try.
This is edited What I want to do is I'm going to download all the different versions, and I'm going to do like they did for that one story, that news story that was in like 35 different places, verbatim. I'm just going to cut together one video of like different parts of that. So
I ain't done that in a while. So
yeah, we should be as loud as fucking possible, because
this.
I mean, I know that it looks bad. I mean, the deadline for the synthetic nicotine PMTAs is tomorrow. It's just more of the same bullshit. It literally is more. I mean, it looks like we're in a bad place, but it's the same place that we've been, and we're still here.
Hey, I don't think Robin deleted me yet. She added me last week, and she hasn't deleted me that I know of.
Robin?
I must be doing something right. Yeah, she came in, I don't know, half hour ago.
Oh, I thought you were
say
saying Koval.
No.
I was like, Robin.
No, that wench is not following me. I don't know.
Where did she add you?
Huh?
Robin Koval. I thought you were talking about Robin Koval. And when you said Robin added me.
No, Robin. I don't see it now. Where'd she go? Anyway.
Well, I know a couple different people named Robin.
I gave my disclaimer, and she's still there as far as I know.
Yeah. But anyway, we want you to enjoy your weekend. If you haven't already registered for there's been 2, the second one is coming up. Conferences in DC. Our friend Mark is going to be appearing, and I believe the Grumpy Old Broad is going to be there as well.
I think she's maybe remotely. I don't know, but he's wearing the shirt that you made with my face.
Is that the one? Well, it's possible.
That's what he said. Yeah, wearing your shirt, and we'll be talking, pointing me out during his talk. See,
I don't even like you.
I trust Mr. Sliss exclusively. I have no qualms about what he's thinking he's going to do, that he's going to do, and what he's done when it's over. And I don't think he's going to walk away with any regrets.
Just, don't be too mean to Caitlyn Jenner in your because then they'll say you're anti-trans by saying negative things about Governor Caitlyn Jenner. So don't do that.
Oh.
Am I the only one that sees that resemblance?
I call her Wretchin. I don't know nothing else. It's Mark's friend, and I don't want to insult him. I'd love to see him have lunch with her.
Have a good weekend. Do all the things. Have all the funs.
Yes.
Monday's coming. We're gonna have to kick ass again on Monday. And just do all those fun things because life is short and we can't be negative all of the time.
No, we have
to let's see which video do I want to end with tonight. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I love every one of you. Patrick's
Sometimes.
questionable.
Well, you told me you don't love me, so I should make you watch the body cavity search one, but I've been using that one too many times. So let's do this one. Have a good one. We love you. Bye.
Vaping is better than smoking. Technically, yes. But so what?